Hello, my subbies. Wie geht es Ihnen heute? Okay, today I'm going to talk to you about piercings and piercing addictions and, just basic body modifications and my ways of cleaning them. Just my experience. Take this with a grain of salt. Grain of salt, you use salt when you whatever. Just take this as you will. Everybody's experience is different. I'm just saying this is what worked for me. I have several piercings, and especially on my ears, and I have one on my nose, and I have others. I've only had one reject. It was my cartilage piercing, and that was because I played with it when it was healing, and which was a really dumb idea because I have a thing with my ears, and it's a stress reliever, and ended up pulling it a little bit and playing with it, so it got bacteria in it, and it kind of rejected a little bit. I think what it would have been beneficial is had I done sea salt soaks, which I didn't. I did H2 Ocean spray because I had gotten my ears done, like all the piercings that I have on my ears, which is my my stretched ears. The first hole are stretched. Second ear piercings. I got my anti-tragus, my rook, and my conch done all around the same time, and my nose. So I was constantly having to clean. I was like with cleaning for what would it take 10 minutes in the morning, and that cut, like, I had to go to class and everything, and that cut a lot of time out of my schedule. So I used the H2 Ocean spray to kind of save time, and what I should have done when I got home was sea salt soaks, because that was recommended. But my first piercer recommended that I could just use the sea salt, the H2 Ocean, on my own without having to do sea salt, and it would save time. So that's what I did. My nose piercings are healing really well. They're like expedited in the healing process because I'm doing traditional sea salt soaks. I didn't want to have to pay a lot for H2 Ocean. My old place, I haven't really checked the price, but it typically runs about, I think, $12 a can, something like that, and eventually it gets really expensive, and it ends up costing about the same price as if you get a new piercing, and I really didn't want to have to do that. So when my new piercer gave me a pamphlet and how-to instructions on everything that I could possibly think of, also listed make your own sea salt solution, I jumped at that. So I ended up using, because he recommended any kind of sea salt. Also, my best friend told me that she had, when her piercing was almost near healing, she ended up going in the ocean on a trip, and the sea salt had helped, complete the healing process, and also helped any redness or any irritation. So I figured it would be best that I use real sea salt. I don't use the really coarse sea salt, but I do use the fine, and I don't use iodized because iodized will irritate the piercing, make it really angry and red, and that's not what you want. So non-iodized. I will put that in a cup. I get separate cups, and I will wash them with antibacterial soap and dump and wash until they're clean if I use them, because you want to treat everything, like make it as sterile as possible. Sometimes I will even get Dixie cups and just one time use only, and then throw them out and then grab another cup. That starts to get kind of expensive too because you're using up a lot of cups. So if you can get something like a regular, like maybe coffee mug, some kind of cup that nobody's using, because nobody's going to want to really drink out of the cup that you've been using to clean your piercings. Just continue to clean it, like hand wash it, and that should help. And yeah, I'll take about a cup of water, and I'll put the salt in, just like a little bit, less than a teaspoon, and I will heat it up about a minute. Sometimes that's too warm. It depends if something else has been in the microwave, because there's already heat permeating in the microwave, so that will make it really hot and the steam will rise off, and you put that on a piercing and that really hurts. So if it's something's already been microwaved, or you've already microwaved something else, like you're microwaving multiple cups, lessen the time by about 10 seconds or 15 seconds. That works. Always, like, I do my sea salt soaks for about 5 minutes. I always clean my piercings beforehand. There's some that only need to be cleaned once, because if you over clean, then there's an issue. But for those piercings that must be cleaned twice, clean it beforehand. If you're going to work out, clean it, right after. Really don't wait on that, because the salt that comes off your body isn't beneficial towards the piercing, and that will make it irritated and really angry, and kind of slow it down. Also, try not to bump your piercings, because that kind of, my piercer says, that makes it everything go back to square one. So that's problematic as well. You also don't want to really touch your piercings when they're healing. Your hands are, breeding grounds for bacteria. So if you're touching your piercing a lot or messing with it, like I did with my cartilage piercing, you're introducing new bacteria into your piercing that wasn't there before, and it causes your body to start rejecting it, and then it's really problematic, and then you'll have this ugly scar sometimes if it migrates, which means that the bar will push out of the piercing, and then you're left with a really ugly scar. So if your body starts to look like it's rejecting, because sometimes naturally your body will want nothing to do with the piercing you get. Doesn't matter how much you clean it, doesn't matter what you do, sometimes it's just not meant to be. So you really, when you ever see any kind of sign, like with my new piercings, I saw redness, things like that, and I'm a really paranoid person, so I didn't want anything bad to happen. So I went to my piercer and asked him about it, and he said it, was completely fine, but he gave me a policy. Most piercers, I think, should do this, where if the first piercing doesn't work out, they will re-pierce a second time for free, which is what my piercer does. Awesome Cape Fear. But yeah, that's pretty much what you want to do with the healing stages. There are other YouTubers that you could go to and go look at they actually, will demonstrate. There's one really, really great YouTuber that I follow all the time, and if you look up, piercing guru, or look up any kind of piercing, any kind of, especially with the ears, she's got plenty of videos for that. And I've always, anytime I get a new piercing, I'll watch her videos, because that's really beneficial. So yeah, that's pretty much it on the healing, in terms of what you need to do and cleaning. Also, when you're putting on makeup, if it's on your face, try not to wear foundation around the piercing. I'm not really a big foundation person. I'm more of a loose powder person, so because it just doesn't work with me. So I try to, you'll see that there's a little redness around the piercing. It's because I don't put makeup around it, because that's more, your body treats it like it's some kind of, dirt agent or something like that, and it's got bacteria, whatever bacteria is in the makeup from, reusing a brush, dipping in, it will go in the piercing, and it will cause it to reject or, get slightly infected, any of that. So be really careful. Also be careful to remove, your makeup. Try not to get anything, like if you're washing your face, try not to get the face wash in the piercing hole. Things like that. It's, as long as you use common sense and you're vigilant about it, it's not really a big deal. It's worth it. In terms of addiction, I am very addicted to my piercings. I really love the experience. I shouldn't, but I do, because for me, like I said, it's cathartic. There are a lot of people I know that, really love it, and that's how I got recommended to go to the new place that I go to, because there are other people that are enthusiastic about it. I'm not really big on the stereotype that you ruin yourself when you do something like that. I mean, being this age, I think it would be, my choice to do something. Just as long as you have supportive people around you, I don't think it's really an issue. There are some people that, will judge you and will say things to you, and that's because they don't understand what it's, the whole mentality of body modification. They don't understand any of it, and there's some people you can talk to about it, and there's some people that they just don't want to hear it because they've been, raised to think a certain way, and that's their prerogative. If they don't want to do it, that's fine. I just don't care for the people that want to get up in your face and tell you that it's horrible when it's your body and your choices. But anywho, that's about it. And yeah, now you heard about my addiction, and not really that bad of an addiction. It has to stop now, but just my favorite thing at the moment before I go somewhere else and go travel and things like that, and yeah, and begin another life. So thank you for watching, and yeah, if you have any, questions or comments or whatever, leave them down below, and I will try to answer. And yeah, thanks for watching.